Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. Kenny's here. Sorry.
Well,
that was awkward.
I'm Diane Ream, and this is NPR.
When
you
I was
okay, buddy?
When I was in the bathroom, I decided that I was like, we should only introduce ourselves when we
Start the show.
Show, and then we come back from break. It's pointless to introduce
I'm
ourselves.
with you.
So let's just go into it. And then as I was saying that, I was like, oh, yeah, I remember I was supposed to change.
Stop myself.
Well,
Must
then
keep talking.
I started going into the natural cadence of the intro, and then my brain started misfiring.
Welcome back.
It's been happening
It's
a
like
lot
when you talk
lately.
about less
again.
talk, more rock. They should just come back and just say music.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
No, don't say anything.
Just fire yourself because there's
Yeah,
no.
just play the music.
Yeah, we hired you to scream
must
less
have
talk,
been-
more rock.
The day that like a DJ that wasn't, he's not totally up on technology, but he's a comfortable DJ in a main market, and he's spinning records. And the day he gets in his brand new vehicle that the station gave him, right, and he looks on his radio and sees that they're scrolling the artist and the title of the song, he probably got really scared, right? Really scared.
Yeah. He was like, oh my God.
Yeah. And then the worst thing ever is there's a button on there that like has active weather, and he's like, oh my God, it's happening. That's bad.
It was like one of the guys at Walmart mopping the floors, and then the first robot goes by, and then he's
gotta
like,
unplug it. You gotta unplug it. You gotta fight it.
Like they're testing them in different,
yeah.
Walmarts, and then the first robot
This is a test market.
sweeper comes by. You're like, oh,
man.
that's definitely taking my job. But look how good it is.
How you been, Kenny? What's up? What's new? What's going on with you?
Yeah, man, life has been great. Actually, so Weird Job Wednesday, you had Andy on who was getting kicked in the flanks by a wrestler.
Yeah.
I was actually his boss, and he was my production assistant when the NBA All-Star Game was here in Orlando back in 2012.
Really?
Yeah, so I was the one that sent him out to do all the grunt
So
work
you're
and
the
drive out
a-hole.
and pick up supplies and stuff.
That's hilarious. I like how you were his boss at. I was like, hold on, what was your job?
So I was the production coordinator. I was the one that basically fielded all the requests from everyone for the NBA, and then told the production coordinator or the production assistants, hey, go out and actually get the stuff for us.
What? Like, how do you get that job? Like, do you work your way up, or you just hired?
Yeah, pretty much. I started out as production assistant as well, like doing concerts and stuff, the ye old Ricky Martin, Kentucky Fried Chicken story.
Yeah.
And then, just through contacts and people I know in the industry, they're like, hey, he's somewhat competent. Let's have him in charge.
I have a lot of friends that do similar jobs to Kenny that, everything is how the last job went. And then your reputation sort of travels throughout that kind of career track.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, but it can also be kind of sketchy, I guess, if somebody were to try and blackball you, right? I mean, it's competitive, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know Tom always talks about it's more about timing and rather than actual skill. It's pretty much the same in this. It's about who you know, who remembers you, the impression you make. Now, to a certain extent, you have to be somewhat talented because obviously they want to remember that you did a good job. But then, it's really about no one really applies for the job. It's all contacts.
And it's all next person in line, and whoever, this person didn't show up. You can do this job, and then you stay in that job. It seems like happenstance and timing. Anyway. What do we got today,
actually,
Kenny?
speaking of that, so that leads me into a story. It's not what I wanted to talk about, but we're talking about the All-Star game. I happened to be out on the court when the players were practicing their dunks and stuff, and one of the players for the Utah Jazz, he wanted to wear an old Karl Malone jersey, and since his nickname was the Mailman, his gimmick was, I want to get a mailman out there and dunk over him. So
Stupid.
He looked at me and he's like, hey, you're 6'4". I want to use you. So I just stood there and he practiced dunking over me, and he was like successfully doing it and everything.
Stolen valor. You're not a mailman.
That's true.
Stolen valor.
But they gave me we got a full United States Postal
You
Service
can't do
mailman
that.
outfit.
Honestly,
get that?
no, legally you cannot do that. Like legally, you are not allowed to own a real
that's
U.S.
federal
post. That
property.
is federal.
We didn't own it.
Well, we
Citizens
borrowed
arrest.
it. We borrowed it from there. And so the whole gimmick was I was supposed to go out there with a package, and the package was the old Karl Malone jersey. He puts it on, and then he dunks over me, and that's going to be the dunk. So he's been practicing it. We rehearse it. We do all that stuff. day of the actual dunk contest happens, and he gets cold feet. He thinks he's not going to be able to dunk over me. And even though I'm only 6'4", like he's dunked over taller people. So instead they get Kevin Hart, who's like 5'2", and he ends up dunking over him.
Yeah, I'm 5'2", Kitty.
How dare you?
Hey, this is your last segment. I hope you know that.
Oh my God, you're short.
I'm like Kevin Hart, but exactly not.
So the outfit was meant for me, so he couldn't wear my outfit. So he just put on like one of those old-timey like safari hats that old mailman do. So he came out wearing the hat with the package, and then he walks out there and gives it to him. So it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense why Kevin Hart is wearing a safari hat and walking out with a mail
Jumanji,
package.
you dumb dog. He wears a safari hat in Jumanji. It's all marketing.
This is way before Jumanji.
Well, he knew. That's how good of a planner Kevin is. Kevin has had...
He's a big Crocs fan.
He is a huge Crocs fan. Shout out to Kevin Hart.
Kenny, this is way before Kevin Hart was famous, right?
Well, I mean, he was famous just for his stand-up. He didn't do a lot of his movies yet, but he was huge in like the Netflix world. So he was there attending it as a celebrity, and then because of how short he was, the basketball player was like, I want to dunk over him instead.
Hold on, Kenny.
And then he wore a pith helmet.
You're a smart guy.
Short people are not supposed to wear pith helmets.
Or maybe it's because you want to dunk over the super famous comedian, which is going to be talked about, and pictures are going to be taken, and rather than the white nerd intern, the goon intern that's standing around.
Yeah, this moof. I got a moof out here.
Who no one cares about. You're going to dunk over Kevin Hart because there's going to be a million pictures on social media.
Plus, he'll talk about it. You know.
I don't think it was because he got cold feet. It's be like, hey, if Kevin
Hart. Kenny's spin, though. I like that Kenny's like, no, dude, I was just too tall for him.
Also, he's an NBA player, and he already practiced dunking over you. He didn't get nervous. He could easily dunk over you. Like, he done it 10 times.
I'm starting to think all your stories are lies now.
yeah. Hold on, you're spinning some web of lies.
Yeah, this one's a little out of control.
You could have just said, I was there. He just picked me because he needed a mailman, and then Kevin Hart showed up and agreed, like, hey, I'll stand there. And then he, of course, chose Kevin Hart.
Now, did you get to meet Kevin Hart? Was he nice?
Oh, yeah, no. Everyone there was nice. That was actually the event that I know I talked about it before, but that was the event that had Nicki Minaj, and she was a nightmare to work with.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Everyone else was awesome. Like, we met with Pitbull and Kevin Hart and like a couple other celebrities and stuff. And honestly, like, they were all fantastic to work with because they know they're there for an event. Like, they're not technically working. They're just there to hang out and drink beers and watch people dunk.
That's fun.
It's so the only experience, and I'll never meet Kevin Hart again. But the only experience I have
say that.
where I've seen the power of celebrity and the power of what celebrity means. Like, in my mind, is the fact that we talked to Kevin Hart at the old Improv. And when
multiple times,
he was just a touring comedian coming through, like every touring comedian,
a young touring comedian, and he would carry.
No one knew about. Like,
he would carry a legal pad, and he
was this before or after Soul Plane?
This is before.
Oh, this is before he was in any movie.
Yeah, this is before anything.
No. In fact, he wasn't famous enough for anybody to even come. Like me, it was me. I mean, it may have been Daniel and Kevin Hart standing at the front bar at the old Orlando Improv.
Yeah.
And he
had that notepad, and he would get people's email addresses, and he did that everywhere he went. And that's how he cultivated an online following before most people had an online following.
And we were having a drink with him, and
that is correct.
And then no one even was like, people were there, like, like
nobody cared.
Random comedians that are touring comedians that don't have big names, like people may have heard of, or they have a small following. This is before social media too, so it was like the start of social media. Anyway, if I met Kevin Hart today, I would be nervous. AF to talk to him, just the fact that how big
his aura
this guy is.
Yeah, his aura is different.
Like,
now.
He's 5'2".
No, I'm saying Kevin Hart.
He's a force.
He's one of the most powerful
entertainers in
the entire world. Like, Kevin Hart could be the person that changed your life, or what I'm saying. Like, he's got so much influence now that there would be a difference noticeably, and the same person. Probably the same nice guy, because he was extremely nice back then. It's just when you become this level of famous, it changes your perception. And of course, I mean, this sounds stupid me even saying this, but like I can imagine talking to him now and be like, oh my God, Kevin Hart is like, this guy is insane.
And he was super nice too.
Yeah.
Not to psychoanalyze it, Tom, but like, why would you feel nervous if he's going to be the same nice person? Like, what about it is going to make you nervous just because it's stardom? It's not like
the
as if you're
attention.
gonna...
Imagine if I talked. I mean, now I'm saying if I interviewed him or something. I guess if I talked to him, like
I
if
put him in the
he's-
same category as like a Tom Brady. If I met Tom Brady, and I'm not a mega fan, but there is something about that guy, I think I'd be extremely nervous.
No, I mean, if he was just like, I mean, if he came in here and somehow we were able to interview him, I'm just saying that it's just the amount of attention that Kevin Hart gets and what that means is totally different. Anyway, if I just saw him on the street, I'd be like, hey, I wouldn't even go.
That
up
actually
to him.
makes sense because I got to meet the president, both W and Obama, and like it is something. Even though they are just normal people, like it is, you do get that feeling of, oh my God, like I'm really like tense trying to even meet them, even though it's just like any other celebrity. They just happen
Secret Service
to
going to
be
take
the
you out.
president of the United
One
States.
wrong move.
Yeah, it's just there's something to be said about a ridiculous famous person. Yeah, they're just a human being like everybody else, but it means something. I don't know, it does. To me, it makes me like, whoa, like this person is crazy.
Yeah.
I just saw
Crazy Rich Asians.
Not to derail anything, but I'll talk about it. Billie Eilish. Write that down. We'll talk about it tomorrow.
Billie Eilish.
Yeah.
You look a lot like Billie Eilish. Kenny, what else you got, buddy?
So what I wanted to initially talk about, and I emailed Sam some of the articles so she can show you guys some visuals, but you guys were talking about the Guinness Book of World Records and stuff, and I actually was a part of a Guinness World Record about 2015 or so, or no, actually earlier than that, like 2012. I was working for the Visit Orlando campaign, and they wanted to create the world's largest human smiley face. So I helped organize, and I was the one that planned getting everyone in colored raincoats. Yeah, that's the photo right there.
Yeah, I got it up for you.
Oh, Tom hates this.
There's nothing Tom hates more. Kenny, this is going to be your last segment because you've burned both of us today, and we'll never forgive
they
you.
wanted to do it, but here's the crazy part was we didn't know how many people were going to show up, so I had to plan and organize. You only get 5 minutes to get everyone in place, and then they have to stand there for like 1 minute. So
why do you only get 5 minutes? You should be able to get an eternity, right? Who cares?
Well, that was part of the challenge apparently, but I was actually up on that lift where that photo was taken. I was up on a lift with a megaphone, and I was trying to like organize and coordinate people. 500 people ended up showing up. You'll notice there's like a weird pimple looking thing on the right side. It's because a bunch of people showed up late, so we just had to throw them in some raincoats and put them in there. But Joey Fatone and his wife were actually there. So they're in front of
celebrity sighting.
Yeah, Joey's everywhere. He ain't got nothing going on.
Oh my God, what happened? Sorry, I hit the gay button on my screen. So what's Joey like, and what color raincoat was he wearing?
I saw him at Vans once.
I
rode
that Toy Story shooting game.
Yeah.
I rode that, and I shared a slice of pizza with him one day.
Really?
Yeah, he's a nice man.
He is nice.
It seems like, I don't know, I guess everybody's different, but if I'm Joey Fatone, the last place I'll be is where a bunch of people want to show up for free to be in the Guinness Book of World Records for biggest smiley face.
I think he misses
but he get a
the fame.
paycheck from
Or
it.
maybe, just maybe, he's a genius, and that's the best place to go because nobody will suspect him.
Hold on, did someone pay him to show up?
Yeah, because he was the celebrity that was there to talk to the media and stuff
You didn't
about
tell
it.
us.
That's different. We thought he just...
Yeah, we thought he
Ken,
was
you're
like,
leaving out details that are confusing me because
canceled.
I thought you just mean
Well, you know what
Joey
he's
Fatone
doing?
showed up.
You know what he's doing? He's following the same style of story as a one Travis Butler, where you tell the story, you're like, oh, and Joey Fatone showed up because we paid him. You should have
Kenny
said
a
that.
chopper?
Yeah, like I showed up today.
Yeah. You think I'd be here if
Yeah.
I almost called you the D word for your body part's head.
Like everybody showed up to work today that wanted to get paid or whatever. But that's the reason. They didn't just show up because
I
they
had
had
an
nothing
anxiety
better.
attack this morning, and I got on my Peloton. I did an hour ride because didn't even want to come in. I was hiding and crying with my mother's dog.
By the way,
A lot of people in the chat have had interactions with Joey Fatone, and it's making me laugh.
Yeah,
Somebody
'cause-
went to his yard sale.
Yeah, he's all over the place.
He's
and,
a nice
and I
guy.
think for the most part, he's a nice guy. I'm not going to wait. I'm going to say that there. Yeah, of
Every-
course,
I've never
everybody's
heard
been a D-head at one point.
I've never heard anything
No.
bad about anybody from NSYNC.
I've met all of them, and they were all very
No,
nice.
For-
I don't know about Justin.
JC,
Oh, okay, well,
JC,
he's a different different celebrity.
The only one that did anything weird was JC, the Chase Lounge man, Shazay.
Yeah.
He hit on the girl that I was dating at the time.
Ooh.
And then he loaded his plate with a bunch of shrimp at Johnny Wright's house. Tons of shrimp. And I'm like, this, I almost cursed. I'm like, this gonna
Hold
eat
on.
all the shrimp and hit on my girlfriend? And then I'm the one that got the adult onset shrimp allergy.
It all comes back to JC.
I don't think he hit on her, right? He just talked to her.
No, I mean, it was.
Were you overreacting? Jealous?
I probably am
No.
overreacting. Sure, I'll
Isn't
take
he,
that.
Isn't he gay?
That's Lance.
No.
Oh,
That's Lance.
Yeah,
okay.
Lance. No, JC's
Sorry.
totally
Wow.
not gay.
I don't know all of them.
No, I was just like, she
Lance.
talked to him for a very long time and seemed more happy than she was with me. So there's that, Tom.
Well,
Well,
yeah,
he's
yeah.
JC from NSYNC.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
right. I don't
yeah.
blame her. Look, we're not together. That's fine. Hope they're happy.
He saw easy pickings too, because
Yeah,
it's not
oh,
like
yeah. He's like,
you
oh,
know,
this guy's with white Kevin Hart, potato Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart attack.
I was gonna make that joke, but
Yeah, it was easy and stupid.
yeah. no, I like it.
I was like, I'll throw it out there. EJ.
I was trying to think of a better one. EJ always laughs at the D material.
Yeah.
So anyway, Tom, I'm famous for having that Guinness record. So what's crazy is like all the interviews were with Joey Fatone and then like the president of the Visit Orlando Association, but I was the one that actually got to keep the plaque that had the Guinness record kind of fancy thing. They don't ask for it back if your record is broken because just a couple of years later, the Philippines ended up breaking it. Like so, we had about
Ready
500
for this,
country?
Tom? You ready?
Oh,
yeah,
they blew
yeah.
you guys out of the water.
Yeah,
you guys
So we set the
suck.
record. We set the record with about 500. They ended up with thousands in theirs. So,
Yeah.
You had 500. They have 8,018 people.
Yeah.
Way better.
Hey, listen, it's those Asians. They're very coordinated and very
Yeah.
efficient.
Yeah. They're more organized.
Yeah,
and,
be racist, Kenny. Good,
and they'll
good.
show.
Let it flow through
Hold on,
you.
is that racist?
I'm
Angle
joking.
positive?
No, it's a positive.
Listen, I'm half Asian, so I can half be racist.
So here's what everybody should do. Everybody should claim that they're a part of some sort of world record when it comes to masses, because they don't for sure list every name
Right.
in the record. So you could,
I was in there.
yeah, you could
yeah.
just say like, hey, the second biggest smiley face ever created, I was a part
Is
of.
that going to be
Yeah.
impressive to people? Isn't that,
No.
Isn't that like me
But-
doing that? Isn't that the redneck equivalent of me saying, hey, I was an extra in Days of Thunder?
Yes.
It's the same thing,
Yes,
right?
it's not impressive, but it's also not impressive to actually be in it as well. So you
Right.
should just claim to be in it, because either one
Yeah.
is not impressive, but one included you having to go out there and stand in the heat
Hey,
for a long time.
My sister-in-law met Jim Carrey on the set of Ace Ventura.
So everybody should just claim they're a part of the world record.
But why? It
of-
doesn't matter. I just won't claim anything. I'll just keep my mouth shut.
But it does. It's a small part of stolen time for other people, because other people went and showed up for this, so it mattered to someone, right?
Let me ask you.
Right.
Let me ask you.
So steal that from them.
Let me ask you a very serious
Wow.
question, Sam.
Just-
if you may write this down to do later, we will collectively send. I want to send an email to Joey Fatone today, this afternoon, and ask him if he remembers being a part of the second largest smiley face in the world.
Well, at the time, it was the first largest. So
Yeah, but he needs to know the news.
He may not know.
Break the
He
news
may
to
not know
him.
I need to
record
break the
was
news
mine.
to
No,
him.
I'm saying no way he remembers.
What record has Butler broken? You know he has.
What record? I mean,
no,
most
no.
days taken off at a job. I don't know. What are we?
That's good. You know what? Hey, when we
Presto
go to
trip for
we go to
Dan.
Presto, first Presto trip for Dan ever.
I'm about to cry.
You had a great week this
Yeah.
week.
I'm having a good week.
I love bowling Butler.
I know you do.
If you get a good zinger, that's
He'll
worth
give
a
you a
lot.
zinger melt.
yeah.
I love Zinger Melons. I just went to Ale House last week, and they've changed their menu, and it's
I haven't
fantastic.
been there in forever.
Oh,
Who
it's good, Sam.
Who gets the mountain melt?
Oh, there was a guy getting it.
No, you
Dude,
can't. You
that
can't.
place,
Oh.
people
Sounds
are
When
delicious.
I was in college, when I was in college, the Zinger Mountain Melt was like the size of an entire banquet table. So me and 3 other dudes would order one Zinger Mountain Melt, and that would feed us all night for maybe like $3
Tom,
each.
you're wrong, because
okay.
Andrea and I were in there, and you can call her and ask her. Everybody was in there to watch preseason NFL. That's how starved people are for football. And every table had a big fat dad at it with a Mountain Melt.
Yeah.
All of them. We're the only couple in there that shared a fish sandwich, because that's my dumb wife.
Would they
Fish
get?
sandwich.
I know!
Would they eat the?
I know, Sam.
Would they eat the Mountain Melt by themselves?
Yeah, that's the challenge.
No, one.
Oh, the sharing?
Yeah, one guy was sharing it, but it was pitchers of beer, Mountain Melts everywhere, dude.
All right, because
Well,
every
the
time
Mountain Melts have gotten smaller, so I'm pretty sure one person could eat it.
It is smaller now.
I have a conspiracy theory about that because.
Yes, let's talk about it on our
Also,
show.
their nacho castles that they make are smaller now too.
All right, Samantha's bullying me and being passive aggressive. So that tells me
that
we're
was
gonna move on.
100% serious.
Yeah, she's just having a good day.
Oh, okay.
Just having fun.
Because when you
I have a
said,
conspiracy theory podcast.
all right, when
You
I
heard about this one? Ale
yeah,
House.
there you go.
every time I ordered the regular Zinger Melt, the waitress would say, "You mean, do you want a Mountain Melt?" And then I'd always be like, "Oh, am I gonna? Do you think I want to order the entire Mountain Melt myself? Like it would be a weird thing."
No, that's
so-
what you do. It's for the table.
But it was built as an appetizer.
I think so. Yeah.
But everybody was ordering their entree. I'd order Zingers because that's what I wanted for my entree, and then they'd be Mountain Melt.
Zingers are an appetizer, right?
Yeah, but I
So
don't.
what's the
believe so.
conspiracy that,
Oh, I
that
mean,
they think
no,
you're
the
a
Mountain.
couple?
I'm
My-
sorry.
my
I misspoke.
conspiracy is-
the Mountain Melt is the appetizer. The Zingers are the entree.
Is that so many waitresses asked this, and people got the
Oh,
Mountain
they
Melt
bully them into
that
it?
they'll be like, "Oh my God, this is too big. I didn't think it was this." And then
Look up their menu.
they
if you don't mind.
slowly
Thank you, Sam.
made it smaller and smaller because I bet so many people complained that the Mountain Melt was too big.
Who's going to complain? Just take
Yeah.
it home.
Yeah, just take it
Or
home.
leave
That's
it.
right.
Well, you know, the Zingers don't keep very well. You know, it's
Okay,
like-
Norm is Googling the Mountain Melt. Norm, you've never had a...
Anyway.
Norm is in our Twitch chat room, and he is obese. You've never had a Mountain Melt?
He's the Mountain Melt of Twitch.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Can you get a Guinness record for most Mountain Melt eaten in one sitting?
Oh, I don't think anybody could do more than 3.
They
Kenny,
have Zinger's flatbread now.
Yeah, it's good, man. I went there.
Zinger's mac and cheese. All right, let's go to Ale
Yeah,
House.
they pared
time
it
is
down. That last time we went with you and Ross. We'll go again.
It's like 5 years ago.
It was.
do we have time for me to yell at Kenny about
No.
interns?
We don't,
Oh,
we're way
God.
over.
All right, Kenny, we got to go. Two Moves
That'll be next month.
Okay,
Yeah.
Two Moves podcast. Download it. It's Kenny and another move. I'm guessing. I just put 2 and
Yeah,
2
we
together.
don't know
Two
what-
moves together.
We don't know what
Aw,
moves
thanks.
are.
The fact that Tom actually remembered that kind of makes me like it feel. I
It's
feel a
only
little,
because I
hurt,
said it
you know?
earlier.
Yeah.
Smooth move,
Yeah, yeah.
X-Lax.
I still went into this thinking we were doing trivia.
Wow.
All right, Kenny, we'll talk to
I
you.
love you guys.
All right. We
see
love
ya.
you too, buddy. Be good. Tom will always say see you, never say I love you.
All right, bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Out of the 3 guys on the show, well, let's go 4 to make it weird. Me, you, Travis, and Tony. Who has the tannest ding dong?
Butler's the tannest
Yeah, yeah.
himself,
It's
so I would
Butler.
assume
Is he the
him.
tannest?
Yeah.
He's Neanderthal.
Get in
too.
here, Butler. I want to
Yeah.
see how tan you are. I'm pretty tan.
Yeah, Butler's.
Put your arm
he's
next to
tan,
mine. I'm pretty tan.
yeah.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
look at
Oh,
that.
Look at that.
Yeah, he's
well,
dark.
you got to shave all that monkey hair off
Oh, how dare
because
you.
it's very dark. His hair is so dark that I feel like it's messing with you, right? Like I feel like his hair is like
An optical illusion?
it's like putting a gel on a light on a movie set. You know, like it's.
How are you so tan and British? I thought British people were supposed to be pasty white.
It's a recessive Italian gene that I have.
Oh,
Okay,
now
so
he's
it's
Italian.
Yeah,
Italiano.
Oh, okay.
Uncle DeJohn.
Hey, spugai.
Forgot about it.
Please, from now on, just talk like Tony Soprano.
Hey, I got him on steak.
Yeah.
Fell off a truck, guy. You know what I mean?
And then we're gonna start dressing you in just a
Fedora. I'm gonna dress you like Michael Jackson's Moonwalker. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's not bad.
Big-
And then we'll do
Sign me
the
up.
tracksuit. Yeah. Please start wearing a tracksuit, and we'll give you a
like
gold
Chris
chain.
Penn. I want you to get fat like Chris Penn from Reservoir Dogs and wear the full 3-stripe tracksuit.
I can't get fat again.
No,
So
you look
hard.
good.
It's getting so hard to
You
get
look
it off
really
now.
good.
So Butler, have you been to Nude Beaches?
I've been to a topless beach. I haven't been to a fully nude beach.
I have been to a fully nude beach. My wife has been to neither.
So I've been nude in public around hedonism. That guy.
I laid on a banana raft completely nude in the ocean.
I went to the nude side, went to the nude pool with other people that I
weird.
know still.
It's weird,
yeah. And then
I saw their wives' vaginas.
and went to the beach but this was at night. I never did during the day.
I did it during the day.
You did it during.
I saw
okay.
some things I can never unsee.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I saw things and ate hamburgers and hot dogs with nude people.
Yeah, Samantha, have you ever done this?
No.
Would you be
it's very
open
odd.
to that, or because I'm gonna say this clinically, or because I would think that you would be more of a mark, that this would not be something you would naturally.
I've been nude on a beach with other nude people, but it wasn't a nude beach.
It was just like an abandoned style beach.
It was just at night when nobody was
Oh,
out there.
Oh, night. See, I don't think night
Yeah.
counts. I
Skinny
think
dipping, yeah.
Night is the entry level, right? I think that's
Yes.
getting your feet wet.
Yeah.
But I think you got to really do it during the day to decide if it is for you. And I did it, and I've decided it is not for
Not
me.
for you?
No.
So-
and I did it. Like I did it because
Too much sand
and
and
the
crevices,
only
right?
reason I did it is because I knew I would not be comfortable, and it was like pushing myself to do something that.
Testing the boundaries.
Yeah, it was like
You're there,
It
you
was
might as well
like,
do it.
I'm being serious. It was like it gave me grit, I guess, because
Yeah.
I was completely uncomfortable doing it, and I knew I'll never come back here, so I'm going to do it just so later I can say, because people are going to ask at this hedonism, people aren't going to not ask, well, did you go to the nude side? They're gonna. That's the number one thing they're going to
Right.
ask. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I'm going to check that box.
Yeah.
So I did one day doing that,
Undo
the
it,
rest
yeah.
of the
Just
time
to
I'm
say
like,
you did it?
Yeah.
It's
It is not. It's kind of gross.
How
Yeah.
they have to be having all nudists, and we should talk to one of them. But
The ones that fascinate me are the ones where
damn it, I did all my steps.
What were your steps?
I did. I don't know. I'm taking my
Step
steps.
one, you put your right foot in. Step two, you put your right foot out. No, what, like to me, the ones that are fascinating are the people that are like, oh yeah, I grew up in a nudist colony with my parents,
Right.
and and I decided to leave, like around when I'm right around like 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
We talked to a BDM that was a nudist, or their family was, and she grew up that way, and it's just normal at that point. But so play Linda Beach. There's still a nude section, and that's how
I
I kind of
believe
started
so.
this.
Yes.
So what is the etiquette when you go to that section? Because obviously going there when you're fully clothed, or at least like regular bathing suit, it's got to be frowned upon because you're an outsider in the in the culture of this, right?
Yeah, there
and
has
they're
to be, right?
they're gonna think you're there to like just look and be a peeping tom,
Yeah, you'd
right?
be a weirdo. A voyeur.
So-
we have Tony on the
Oh,
phone.
okay.
He is online too.
Oh, please tell me Tony's a nudist.
At the Improv this weekend, he's going to be there, theimprovorlando.com. Get your tickets now before they're sold out, because there's a comic legend. Tony Woods is going to be there. How you doing, Tony?
I'm okay. How you feel today?
Good. So, Tony, when I knew you were calling in, my first question was going to be how much the audience has changed over your time doing stand-up comedy, because you just celebrated 35 years, correct?
I think so. Yeah.
And so, have you noticed a difference in the audience over that amount of time? I mean, or have you
Yeah.
just...
Well, I mean, I remember in the beginning it was new. It was everybody was like it was like a video store. People lined up to get a video and stuff like that. Now, they can stream it. But it was it's not as I don't know. It's a different type of excitement. People want like at first they used to just want to laugh. You hear me?
Yeah.
Now they want you to make them happy.
Interesting.
You feel me? Like before, it's just like I just come to laugh. I just want to giggle. Ha ha. Now they're like, come on, man, make me happy. You know?
Yeah. The demand is
change my
great.
life with your comedy.
Yeah.
That's interesting. So, like, people want some sort of enlightening experience, or some sort of like,
Yes.
yeah.
They
Yeah.
it's like they want a
and
therapist.
It's like, right, they do. and they want you to talk about real stuff, but if you talk about real stuff your way, sometimes they go, whoa, you can't talk about real stuff like that in a real way. So, it's all, they want you to make them happy. It's like kids, kind of, you know.
Yeah.
They want you to, they don't know what they want.
Well, okay, Tony, I got to ask you, because we saw your social media, and you were standing in front of a Judge Jerry side, and people are asking you, are you there in the audience? And you're like, I'm participating.
I'm on the show, Judge Jerry.
Yeah, so you got to tell us about that.
Yeah, that was fun, because someone said, do you want to be on the Judge Jerry show? Like, all right, because I thought the person just had like a speech impediment or something. I thought you were talking about Judge Judy. I didn't know Jerry, as a Springer, had a show. And we did it, and another comedian friend of mine, he sued me, so that was fun, I guess.
So, hold on. Was it legitimate, like you had this lawsuit, and they came to you and said, do you want to work it out in front of Judge Jerry?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, okay. What happened is he was suing me for not paying him for some shows. But it's not like that. We work together all the time, and but we went out because it was on his suggestion. We went to this particular club because he says they got the VIP section for you, and we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, and we're gonna do it. And then at the end of the night, bang, they gave me the bill.
Yeah.
And I'm like, come on, man. That's like somebody walking into you guys' show and say, happy birthday. And you take some of the cake and then go, all right, you owe us $50 for that cake. What?
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm like, dog, that's your fault. So bang, I didn't pay him. So he sued me. But the good thing about it is he sued me and he won on Jerry Springer. And you know, whenever you see those courtroom shows and people say, I'm suing for this much, the TV show takes care of that.
Yeah,
oh, nice.
They pay for it.
Yeah, you just lose. That's all.
Yeah,
but you don't lose money. But you just actually lose. So I actually lost, but I didn't lose no money. And I got some money for being on the TV show anyway.
That is awesome.
I mean, it's almost like you could scam the TV show.
Oh, yeah.
What happened?
They interviewed me after that, and I got to say the thing I always wanted to say. They said, so where you guys going after this? And I said, Disney World.
Yeah, because you actually are. You're in Orlando, and you're going to be at the Orlando Improv, theimprovorlando.com for your tickets.
So,
Boom.
Tony, I got to ask you, because when Dave Chappelle thanked you at the Mark Twain Awards, obviously a bunch of people had to have, started searching who you were and researching you about you. I saw the New York Times article. I mean, you got a lot of publicity from that. And
I did. Check it out. I did not even exist until then.
Well, you did, Tony. Like I mean.
Oh man, I wasn't even. I was like, what's the dude? The little dude who was with Geppetto. What's his name? Remember the guy
Jiminy
Geppetto?
Oh,
no, he was the narrator.
Oh, Jimmy.
No, Pinocchio.
Oh, no, okay.
You're a wooden boy.
Yeah, so boom, until he said, bang, you a real boy now. What?
Yeah.
That's how I felt.
So
most people think about Pinocchio, they think about him lying. No, he wasn't really a liar, man. He just said some stuff that wasn't true.
Tony, when Dave Chappelle, does he give you the heads up that he's going to do that?
Or does he just do it and you react?
No, he just did it. He did it. I mean, you saw this. You saw how I looked. I was sitting there. I was wondering why they had me sit in a particular seat, because there was 2 open seats beside me. So, but somebody came by from the crew and says, "No, you have to sit there." And I was sitting next to that girl. You see that girl I was sitting next to?
Yeah.
I was sitting next to her, and she's like, like that, like that. I'm like, all right, and I want to say, come on, bitch, they told me to sit here.
I bet you didn't think that after Dave Chappelle thanked you first of his entire career.
Like, I want you to look at her face, and then when Dave gives me the shout out and all that stuff, she's fucking leaning in.
Yep.
It's like that Ferrari prank.
Right, and everybody's calling me like, "Who was that girl?" I could have went with you. All of that stuff. Yeah, so because stuff like that, I avoid people who I might be kind of close to, like that. Romantically. I don't want to be there. Like this weekend, Friday and Saturday. Friday is my birthday.
Oh,
Wow.
happy birthday.
Yeah, and people keep saying, "Hey man, I want to sit next to you on your birthday." No, you don't. By myself.
So
I'll be down there. So the people can come out and help me celebrate my birthday.
yeah, 100%. I mean,
We got our whole chat room right now. Go ahead.
I just realized, man, we on air right now.
Yeah?
yeah.
Oh, my bad. You gonna bleep them bad words?
No,
out?
yeah, don't
we
worry
got
about
you.
it.
We got you, Tony. Don't just be
worry
yourself.
about it.
We don't. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even sweat it. Watch this.
Fuck.
There we go.
Alright.
The
'Cause
FCC
that-
barely
y'all
exists.
Okay, because y'all scared the shit out of me, man. I was like, I'm gonna lose all my fucking sponsors.
No,
you're
it's
good.
fine.
You're good.
So one last question for you, Tony. So after that, and Chappelle thanked you, and I mean, what changes for you? How many, does a phone start ringing? Do people start immediately booking you?
You wouldn't believe it, man. You wouldn't believe it, man. The phone started ringing, boom. I'm doing international shows. I'm here, I'm there, I'm here, I'm
Nice.
there. And as a matter of fact, I was in Holland, where Amsterdam is in the Netherlands, boom, and doing some stuff. And then they say, yo, you better go home on Sunday because the world's going to shut down. I'm like, not for me, because I just got a shout out.
So, Tony, if you were going to put a value to that, to Dave thanking you at the biggest comedy award that exists,
Right.
what value would you put that? What is that worth?
It was pretty priceless, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some things you can't put, yeah.
Dumb question, Tom.
I'm sorry.
you shut up, Tom.
I always go back to money. I apologize.
I mean, what, you mean like a dollar value?
yeah,
yeah.
if you were someone who's gonna
Okay, I'm gonna tell you, it was okay. I don't know a dollar value, but I tell you, it was super satisfying. Say you get on the elevator, right?
Mm.
And it's people from your job, right? I don't know, maybe they just fired you, or maybe you just quit, or something, right? And right before you walk out the elevator, you rip a good one, right? It's a ooh, and then the elevator door shuts, and then you hear someone go, because they stuck in between floors.
That's a good analogy.
That's a perfect analogy.
I now understand the value of.
So it was satisfying. What I'm saying is, I felt satisfying, and like a whole bunch of the people who had said, this and said that or whatever. It was like, bang, got you, motherfuckers.
Yeah. It's
It was
awesome.
it was like I didn't even do a show, and
Yeah, I love it.
and then so the pandemonium happened, and then because. But I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I was still doing underground shows all over the place. I'm trifling. Anyway,
This is my favorite interview. We've never had you in here, and man, I hope we get a chance to meet you in person and have you in here because you're cracking me up, man.
Yeah.
TheImprovorlando.com. Go see him on his birthday. Celebrate it with him. He doesn't want you to sit next to him, and you don't want to sit next to him.
Tony, are you going out after you do your shows?
I go out all the time. I'll be out there. But I was gonna say, I know I hope it doesn't sound selfish or inconsiderate, right? But I wore masks throughout the whole thing. But I'm not gonna tell you that I was safe and staying away and 6 feet and all of that stuff, because about 5 or 6 years ago I was in Australia and I was sick as a dog, man. I was terrible, and I went to the doctor, and I remember she was a female doctor, and she with a beautiful Australian accent. You know how they speak with their whole face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They go, how you guys? Like that, like the whole face talk. And she says, I'm afraid you have influenza. Ah, and it was because, when she said influenza with her accent, the first thing I did is I grabbed my crotch. I'm like, how did I get that? and she just looked at me kind of strange. She says, the flu. I'm like, oh, my bad. I had never heard the flu's full name.
Well, Tony.
It's like my name is Tony, but my real name is Anthony. It's like somebody said, do you know Anthony Woods? You go, no. But if you say Tony Woods, yeah, I know him. See him all the time. So it was, yeah. So what the point I'm making is that I'm like, man, the flu can't catch me.
That's just science.
Yeah. Well, Tony, you don't have to worry about. You're in Florida. I don't know if you've seen the news,
We're
but
open.
it
You're
does
fine.
not matter here in Florida,
Yeah.
so we're good.
Yeah, I know. I was just down there, man.
Yeah. Well, Tony, we're telling everybody to get tickets to your show.
TheImprovOrlando.com. Hey, man, enjoy your time in Orlando, and thank you for taking time to talk to us today.
Man, no, thank y'all for calling me. Or did I call y'all? But thank you for all of that.
You got it,
no
man.
problem, dude.
We'll talk soon.
Happy birthday, y'all.
Dude, happy birthday to you, man.
Yeah. All right. Okay. He's party. Yeah, he's coming in hot. I like that. I'm a little sweaty, but I like that. I was managing things and riding faders because it would go up, go down, and get loud. I don't know if he was, at one point he was shoveling snow. I heard it in the background. I mean, that was fun.
Tony,
We got to get him in. He's just fun.
Dude, I don't know idea about Tony. By the way, it's hard to find information about Tony. Tony Woods. Look up Tony Woods. His Wikipedia doesn't even have his age.
No.
Which is the first time I've ever seen that. Like, we could not find how old he was.
No.
And I was like, it's got to be here somewhere.
Seasoned.
He's only really active on Instagram. Yeah, he's been doing this for 35 years.
I'm being
so.
respectful. I say seasoned, and
like
I like that. Like the chat room agreed. Like it's fun when people just kind of come in hot like that.
Yeah.
Woo!
And so like Tony's only backstory really, I mean, besides
Military guy
from being a comedian for that long,
Desert Storm, I believe. Thank you for your service, Tony.
We mentioned it, but like Dave Chappelle during the Mark Twain Awards thanked Tony Woods, I think it was first, like out of anybody.
I kind of have an interesting story about
and
that.
gave him credit for his inspiration of his entire career, which is insane, by the way. To single a comedian that no one knows about, no one's even heard of, really, you know, unless you were already a comedian, I'm guessing.
I mean, you could feel the parallels there, right? I kind of do. Yeah, you can feel it.
Someone was saying that I read the New York Times article, and they said, like, while Tony's doing stand-up, he'll slap the mic. And like it's Dave Chappelle does that too. Like after a punchline, he'll slap it against his leg. I guess Tony does that, and like there's certain things that you pick up watching.
Well, you can tell. You can tell even him talking to us on the phone. The pacing he had was. I'm like, oh, this is familiar, right? I mean, it feels good.
But he
comfortable.
He reminded me, and every once in a while we'll get a comedian in here that seems like they 100% just do it because they're a funny person naturally, and they just do stand up, and they weren't looking to make a career out of it.
Tony.
Yeah,
he doesn't write his jokes down. That's another thing I found amazing. He just does jokes and he doesn't write them down. That's pretty awesome.
Which is kind of like how, I think how Dave Chappelle does it, right? Where he works it out in his head, but I don't think it's
very similar style.
Like, see, he's kind of doing it across between like improv and where he'll have an idea.
Yeah, he has an outline of where he wants to go. Yeah.
That's amazing. If you're able to like perform like that and not let it get into your head and get nervous that you're gonna slip up. Like, to me, that's the hardest part, is like getting on stage, and you know, we do it where we're talking or whatever, we naturally find funny things or whatever thing. But if you're in front of an audience by yourself and you have some beats in your head but it's not like exactly well rehearsed, because some comedians, they got that S down to the exact beat, and their whole
almost
entire
like a magician, where you're at that point all you're doing is executing an act.
And they're executing their act.
There's no pivoting. You're not being influenced by the audience in any way. You're just doing your act.
And it seems like, I've never seen Tony Woods perform except for like online or whatever, but it seems like they are, and I know it's not 100% this, but they are just off the top of their head telling you a story or telling you what they think is funny, which is an amazing talent to do when you already have an idea, because obviously you practice these stories and you get the beats down, but that to me, having it all organized in your head just as beats, and then the story will come to you, and naturally you'll know when the punchline should hit and like how to build it.
Yeah,
that's pretty impressive, man. And if Tony's anywhere close to how Dave Chappelle does it, I'd go see him.
Yeah, he was great, man. I'd love to see him.
I mean, if you're Dave Chappelle's mentor, you're good. You know what I mean? I mean, it's not a question.
That's really all you got to know. Well, I mean, just that interview. If you didn't find that funny, there's something wrong with it. That guy's hilarious.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if he was up all night or partying or whatever, but he sounds fun as hell. I want to go to it.
He's been traveling, man.
I'm gonna try and figure out if I can slip by there.
Yeah. It's always enlightening to me when you find a person that's in the entertainment business that just is in it for the true.
They enjoy it.
Like I guess raw entertainment of it, or
Yeah.
just like enjoys
There's
the
a part
art.
of me that really enjoys doing what we do, and I only do it because of that.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if I
But
stop
there's so much
doing
other
this-
that you have to do to be a part of that. That's some people choose not to do it, and it's like I mean, even though Tony's successful, obviously, it's just like he never got into the acting or the other stuff or the
Not his
thing.
He does a lot of writing for other comedians too.
A lot of those
naturally
guys,
funny.
a lot of the guys that end up getting thanked at some point, you'll find out that they were writing for this guy or that award show, or there's a lot of that.
Also, he'll still do stuff like Judge Jerry, where
That's hilarious.
like he's like
His agent probably saw it come by. He's like, well, you can do this. Then he reached out to him. Does he want to do that? And then as soon as they'd say, well, we'll take care of the little lawsuit deal, I was like, oh, awesome.
Yeah. Also, it seems like maybe I don't know. I'm so skeptical. Like, it's a great setup for like, hey, just sue me for this bill.
Oh
we'll
yeah,
go on
two
Judge
comedians
Jerry.
do that.
Yeah.
The guys do that all the time.
It's good for the show because you're naturally funny and you can riff, and also, what does the show care whether it's a legitimate lawsuit or not?
Yeah.
And good for like these guys get paid, and like they settle the thing is like a win-win for everybody.
Would you like to come back and then we can go through? There are more than just one
In
nude
Florida?
beach in Florida.
All right.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna go
Let's
through
do it.
some of the nude beaches. When we return, you're listening to A Corporate Time with Tom. Bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. We were talking about nude beaches.
Yeah, let's get into it. There's Blind Creek Beach. That's one.
Where's
that?
This is in St. Lucie. 36 acres. There's a sign that indicates where the nude section begins. Blind Creek Beach feels like a slice of paradise. That's a picture of it. Look, very pretty.
That's nice. So over there on the West Coast.
Then there's Play Linda, which is in
No, it's by Port
Brevard.
St. Lucie.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
I
guess
Lot
there's
13 area.
There's probably not that many nude beaches in the West Coast.
Hullover Beach. There's one there. There's one at Apollo Beach. I want tips though. Like, are you so if you're going to the nude beach, you're allowed to get in your car nude, drive to the beach nude, get out of your car nude, walk from your car nude down to the beach.
No.
Then get back into your car, drive. I can stop at Walgreens nude.
I think you can only be nude once you pass the barrier. Where it
Can you
says
just
nude.
walk around everywhere, or are you supposed to
What?
get in a chair and then get nude, and then if you're moving, is it like if you're moving, put a mask on?
No, I think if you're moving, you could be nude. But I was going to ask you that. Like, should you get nude right? Should you walk in nude, or do you walk in with your bathing suit
I think you
and then
walk
get
in with
nude
your bathing suit on.
Yeah.
at the towel, and then you're nude for then you go down the water nude, and you're just nude for the rest of the time, right?
Yeah.
And then you shouldn't pull out your phone, right, ever. Because even, like, checking text messages, people are going to think you're snapping pictures of them or something, right?
I wouldn't even have thought of that
That's
one.
nice etiquette, but I'm sure people are on their phones anyway.
Yeah. I'm just saying it's like, I would
There's
think...
a nude beach over at Hollover Park.
Yeah, I saw that
They
one.
they have a nude drum circle and volleyball tournaments down there.
All right.
Okay, so it says, here's a first-timer's guide and nudist etiquette. The expectation of privacy. While a genuinely friendly group of people, most nudists and visitors to a clothing-optional beach or resort attend with an expectation of privacy. It's okay to smile back. It's okay to wave. But most people like to keep to themselves. Do not interrupt each other's time on the beach.
Okay, so it's mind your business.
Yeah, if you're in a situation where you're chatting with someone, please do not try to pry into someone's personal details. Let them share what they're willing to, but don't dig deeper then it's acceptable. Man, they have to put this on a website? This is weird.
Oh, that's not that had nothing to do with
Why'd you even go that far?
being nude. It's like why? That's just regular dealing with human strangers, right? Just aren't asking them personal questions.
Let's see.
I like being nude. I'm like, go up to you, your dong's out. I'm like, who'd you vote for?
Dong Santis.
You're an anti-vaxxer, aren't you? I can tell by how nude you are.
What do you think about this vaccines?
I don't know. I don't trust them. Nanoparticles in my dong? No, sir. Pictures and photography. Just because a person feels comfortable laying in the sun nude in a social setting does not mean that they are asking to have their picture taken. Whenever visiting a private clothing optional resort, cameras and cell phones with photo capabilities are prohibited from being brought in.
Oh, okay. So they don't want you, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they don't even want you to bring it in.
I don't even think they want you to be on your phone texting because it's, creepers will go there and start snapping shots
Yeah,
at you.
basically it goes through not taking any photos. Towels are a must. One of the first things noticed at a first social nude gathering is that everyone carries a towel with them. As a courtesy to others, nudists always place a towel down on any area that they will sit on, especially chairs and public benches. Those who go into the ocean for a swim will generally carry 2 towels, one for sitting and one for drying off.
All right, yeah. I mean, that makes sense.
You need a butt towel.
Yeah.
You keep your butt and your balls off of benches, right?
Yeah. Although if it's a cement bench by the beach, like sometimes I'll have a red hot cement bench with cement holes in it that was made in the 50s.
Are you talking about the ones where it's each side is a big piece of cement and there's slats in between?
Yeah. Like anything like that, I feel like you could go ahead and sit on.
I
your
feel like you
naked butt
could too, but you probably shouldn't.
Because I'm sitting down with my shorts, and I assume there's bum urine and other fecal matter on this already. So your nude butt isn't going to offend me.
I don't think it's the nude butt. I think it's to keep you from getting stuff in your butt.
Yeah.
I think it's more of a.
Oh, well, they said it as courtesy.
Well, right, as a courtesy to your own butt to keep the
No.
bum dirt off your butt.
I think it's courtesy to other people because they don't want your nude butt sitting on things. But I'm like, go ahead and have your way with it because I've assumed this bench is disgusting.
Start staring and gawking at others. Most people from childhood were taught that staring is considered rude. The same is true in clothing optional settings such as Hanover Beach. Naturally, if it's your first time, you're going to be curious and you'll want to look around at the people near you. This is a normal element of human curiosity, but you're expected to keep to yourself and not ogle or stare at people around you. Remember that nudists and people in clothing optional environments enjoy nudity for the sake of nudity and do not go nude because they want others to stare at them or be show-offs.
Yep. Yeah. Don't just, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that one we all agree with.
Although I will say that you can't be that offended or surprised if
nude.
someone is staring at you.
Look at what they're not wearing.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like...
I mean, that probably comes with the territory.
If you're an average person, right, at the nude beach, you know that no one cares. But if you're a fitness man or woman or
If you're
a
Seth and
chungus, yeah, if you're a fitness man or woman or a chungus man or woman,
the opposites. Yeah.
if you are polar opposites, I'm sorry, but you have made yourself a target.
And you may get some longer stares. People are not gonna not stare at you. You know what I'm saying? Like it's gonna be, but you shouldn't stare at anybody.
No,
right?
you should not.
And it's creepy.
Sexual activity and public displays of affection. As public, family-friendly environments, there are strict rules about public displays of sexual nature. Because men are human beings, they are often concerned about erections. There's a whole chapter on this.
Whole chapter.
Yeah, actually, that is genuinely a non-issue because a clothing optional environment is not a sexually charged atmosphere. The natural nervousness that a person feels during their first nudist experience generally precludes the possibility of having one.
No, I don't know.
In the
think
unlikely event that an erection does occur, this is like what they say on a plane. In the unlikely event that an erection does occur, the rule of thumb is that the condition should not be flaunted because people really don't want to look at them. Covering up with a towel, taking a dip in the ocean, or turning over on one's stomach are all acceptable methods of dealing with this situation politely.
in a towel tin over there.
Nah, I go right for the ocean. I run for the ocean and whack, whack, whack. You know, like.
But I know what they're saying because, and you know too, like at a nudist resort,
I saw some people at hedonism when I was nude that were inappropriate.
Right.
Well,
of course.
that's a different than just a nudist resort. That's like an open sex swingers resort, nudist resort.
What?
Like
No.
they have like open sex is not only happens but encouraged in some. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's a little different than at the public nude beach. You know, it's like
It is.
at hedonism, like you are
Expected to, be a
not even-
little spicier.
Yeah. And it's like celebrated if you do that. You can't. Who goes to these places? Like I've never met someone in my life that I've had regular encounters with. Maybe they just don't talk about it. That just goes to the nude beach often. You know.
Yeah.
Wow, there's
I
a
don't know
whole
anybody.
chapter on how you're not supposed to stare at people that have piercing tattoos or weird pubic hair grooming.
I've never known
because-
anybody into this.
Oh my god! Like really, they're seriously. They're like people that go to clothing optional beaches have piercings. May not have piercings. Some have genital piercings. Others may have nipple piercings. Many have ear piercings and
Yeah,
wild
that's just
pubic
people.
hair.
So
Wild.
there's got to be
Wild.
some sort of a little bit of exhibitionist in some of these people because you can go to a lot of abandoned beaches in Florida and be nude by yourself. So it's not just like because I understand like being on the beach nude seems like it would be enjoyable, right? Like especially if you were by yourself or whatever. And you're like
I think
nude,
it would be relaxing to
the
get an all-over tan and swim in the ocean nude. Yeah,
Yeah, the
I agree.
breeze.
Yeah,
like
it's freeing,
Yeah,
sure.
I can understand that freeingness, like or that freedom, but
It's the way you're supposed to be. Swimming in the ocean completely naked. That's pretty cool.
around other people, I would be awkward,
it'd be weird.
and it'd be like, this is awkward. So there's got to be more than just a freeing feeling because I feel like you could get that in other beaches that are abandoned.
Correct.
So it's like not only is a freeing feeling, but other people are seeing you, and you're
make-
around other people that are nude. That's got to be a tiny part of it.
I make any beach a nude beach by just bringing my own refrigerator box and I just cut the top of it and I just lay in there
That's genius.
completely nude. And I just hope and pray that no children look inside.
Oh God.
Now, if you, I know there's some topless beaches, and they're like in South Beach. Growing up, you could be topless. How, like, can you do that at Cocoa Beach or New Smyrna or whatever they?
No, they don't even like you wearing thongers.
Will they
My
tell
God.
you to
Yeah.
leave?
I've
for
seen
thongers?
it happen. Yeah,
That's ridiculous.
it is
Who?
ridiculous.
Leave where for a thonger?
I believe it was Coco.
Oh, man, you see thongers at Disney.
Yeah.
You go to a Disney water park.
They give you a gift card now to cover it. Go buy a pair of shorts.
Oh,
and
do they?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I saw, Blizzard Beach is thongs ahoy. When Andrew and I went, it was every Brazilian, Portuguese thongs.
Yeah, I saw thongs too.
Yeah, it was thongs crazy. Somebody, Captain Crunch, is that a quote from your parents? God, I want to say this, but I don't want to give Sam more work.
We have someone from the chat calling in. They frequent nude beaches.
All right.
Sorry, wrong button, Dan. What's up, you pervert?
What up? What up?
I'm kidding. What's up, man? Tell us about your experience with nude beaches.
Why do you love them?
Yeah, man. Let me just make sure you guys are muted, and you are. That way I'm not giving feedback. Yeah, man. It is. It's definitely kind of like a social and normal thing. But there was one thing that you guys touched on that I wanted to hit on. You were talking about like piercings and things. There is this stuff. It's like bead jewelry. So it's like big rings, like, you know, like you have your wedding ring or whatever, but they put it on their one-eyed snake, and it's like an eyepiece. So, like, it draws your attention to that, and it's like very normal in their chief. They're like gaudy in their chief. They're like big old chungus golf rings, but for your snake.
I have no idea what's happening right now. I didn't understand
He's
a
saying
word.
snake as dong. I think.
Okay, so you're
Yeah.
saying that
Nobody calls their dong a snake. By the way, that's a weird thing.
plumbers do.
Yeah, you're right. You're saying a reference that is confusing all of us because that's not a
Yeah.
normal. I can't say the word. Kyoko.
Well, it's an ACT, right?
Yeah.
This is ACT colloquialism.
I knew. I just can't say it.
It's fine. Why try though? I mean, like that's what I
Right,
say.
exactly.
I want to tell people
Yeah,
how dumb
that's why
I
I
am.
try. Like, can you sing? No, I can't sing. How do I live without you?
Yeah. People want to see how dumb you are. That makes them feel better.
Yeah,
Like, this guy's dumb.
So you're saying that nudists, there is a sort of a style cue that some of them will rock their wedding jewelry on their genitals?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Is there a swinger element a little bit in play with? It's got to be a certain percentage. Like some of these are swingers and stuff. There's all a Venn diagram that overlaps with this, right?
Yeah, so there is. I mean, not everybody though. I mean, like there are some like super normal people that just go and it's just like, all right, cool. Like I can get a full tan on my body. Like, you know, I can get into the water. I can feel, you know, the ocean. But other people, yeah, there is kind of this atmosphere of like I've been approached before, like my wife and I, like as we were leaving the beach, and they were like, hey, you know, like if you guys want to hang out, like I'm into, and then they start telling us what they're into. Like, so there is that.
Yeah, you're fishing when you're there if you're into that.
Yeah,
now,
well, you got your worm out. Come on.
So tell me, you and your wife, why do you guys go there? Just for the freedom?
They're sexual deviants.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We're just social deviants. We're just scumbags.
No, okay.
No, he's being serious.
Yeah,
what
is
it? What's the motivation?
Whoa.
No, it's just nice. I mean, it's really nice, especially if you've been working on your body. Like, you kind of get to show that off. It's nice to be able to kind of just get in the water and feel it, I guess.
Hold on. I'm gonna poke holes in your showing off your body. You can go
He's
to.
not wearing anything. There's nothing to poke holes.
I'm not. Yeah, no holes.
No, but you can go to a regular beach with a Speedo and show off your nice body, and the only
more people.
Well, the only thing you're hiding is your dong and your butt ass.
That's impressive.
Well, but that's not. You don't work on that. That's God's gift. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you're just there to show off God's gift.
I mean, some people only have God's gift, right? I mean, other than that, it's...
Wait a minute. So this nerd goes to the beach to show his hog off?
Yeah. So what is
cool. All right, I'm in.
What's in it for
I'm
your
not shaming you,
wife?
buddy.
How did you convince your wife to do this, or is she into it too? And if she's into that...
well, what is she?
Give Tom some tips.
She got big boobs and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So you guys both look good. So you guys go out there to look good together, and that turns you on a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, because if you just
completely nothing weird about that makes sense.
Other good-looking people are out there.
Yeah, and the other thing I'll say too, like the other
Thank
thing
you.
Next to zero.
You can't hear women's frequencies.
Whatever's lower than zero.
there's a kind of like a more party environment too. So like when you go to the beach, it's always kind of like families and like dads and like everything else. When you go to like a nude beach, like people have bars set up. Like they bring out fold-out tables,
Tony
like liquor's more
there.
open.
Hey!
It's Tiki Bar.
Yeah,
Hey, Chex Mix, no sesame sticks.
It makes sense. Do people bring their kids out there? Probably not, right?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, there's
Some
nudist
do,
kids.
yeah.
I mean, there's like I know at like Secrets Hideaway and like nudist colonies have kids.
Yeah.
There.
It's nudist kids.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So it's more of an adult party
Weird,
atmosphere at the beach. With there's some people that are into it for the sexual reasons. Some are just exhibitionists. Are there any just like hippies that like the ocean and like because?
Yeah, man, Mother Earth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Tons. I mean, there even like some of the college girls you'll catch that are kind of like boho, right? They'll come out and they're like, "Oh, it's about the freedom," and you're like, "Sure."
And the holistic aspects, the people that like, I want my body to be in the real
Cleanse,
salt of the earth and
with the sun. And
yeah.
So, what's the etiquette? Do you walk to your space at the nude beach with your bathing suits and then disrobe there at your spot?
I stand at the sign and I strip down.
yeah. That's what they make you do in hedonism, by the way.
Oh, really?
There's a guard there that makes you take your pants off while he
Jeez.
watches you. And then he's like, because no pants allowed beyond
If
this
he
point.
had a spoon, it'd be very close. Very close.
Yeah. He's a stereotypical bull, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Get the spoon. There's 100%. Yeah, I mean, some people will do it as soon as they hit the signs. Some people will do it like once they get to their spot. And I'll just give you guys, just to bust it out, I'll give you guys some info. Like, so Hiawatha Beach, lot number 13 is like where a lot of this goes down. And there's like a piece of driftwood that separates lot 12 from lot 13. So, like, if you're walking the beach and you see this big piece of driftwood, that's where you'll see people start to take off their clothes. If you're lucky enough to get there early where you can park, you can do it, like, as soon as you get to the sign or when you get to your spot, whatever you're comfortable with.
All right. So there's a big piece of driftwood that that signals everybody to get nude there. So how the first time you did this, and we got to go soon, but I've noticed, and I've been around nude people a few times in my life, but enough.
You and I have been around more nude people than most people.
Like enough to realize this weird psychological effect where you think it would be weirder for a longer period of time, but it gets normalized super quick and quicker than you would think. Like when we were at Dan Cummins when he was hosting that Playboy show, and there was just like 7 nude girls, or at least topless, around us.
No, they were nude.
And they were just sitting at the craft table eating breakfast, and they had all their boobs out, and I'm just eating my sandwich, and they're nude.
We were putting Texas Pete on a McMuffin.
It got normal fast, like where it was almost not even weird 5 minutes later, and I was like, "That's weird that it got normal this fast."
But it was hella intense that first 35 seconds. Like, because it was just like because they're all 10s and they're all nude, and you're just like,
But even at hedonism, when we all got nude, it was like it got normal fast, where it almost didn't matter anymore. Is that how it is for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, all right, so the first time you go, obviously you're just kind of like, all right, this is interesting. This is a new experience. But honestly, you kind of become a vet, right? And then, like, if you go to a place where everybody's naked and you're not naked, they start looking at you kind of funny, and then you're like the odd one out.
Yep,
and you're
that's
like,
how it was at hedonism.
Yeah, that's how I feel with no mask on now in public.
Yeah, I know. I did that today accidentally. It was bad.
I'm like, everybody's got it. God damn it.
Like the liquor store guy looked at me and was like, I thought you cared. I was like, I did.
Anyway, all right, sir. Thanks for calling us and telling us about your nude experience.
Get out of here. What is wrong with you, buddy?
I don't know.
I think you want to be a nudist. Out of all of us, you're the one that wants.
He wants that waterfall lifestyle.
Yeah, he wants it so bad. You've been working on your body. You want to take your wife out there.
Pictures of your wife's butt.
She don't want to do it, even though she got the pictures. She got the nude pictures.
Close. She's closer than anybody.
She's uptight.
She has those boudoir photos.
No, she's uptight. Every once in a while, I'll make comments.
Did she do one of the ones that's almost too far, where it's like backlit pubes?
No,
those are my favorite. I love a good backlit bush.
No.
Backlit bush. Light.
I was like, what's bad about that lifestyle? You're nude. You're seeing other people nude. I mean, what? That's bad.
Nothing. There's nothing. I have never. Said
who doesn't want that?
There's only a few people that's excused trashy or like I'm not me. I don't care.
It seemed pretty fun.
Do whatever you want to do. It sounds great.
I like nude.
Yeah, you're out there. You're whatever.
You're out there. Humana. Put 'em on.
God damn it. Bye-bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. That is the last time you will hear us say that on this show. I'm putting my foot down.
No, we can say it at the beginning.
That's
of
what
the
I'm
show.
saying. This is the only time we're saying it.
Yeah.
Every other time, you're going to have to try and figure it out. On the YouTubes and on Twitch, there's a website called Twitch. It's a great streaming platform. We're on there Monday through Friday, and you can join our chat room. I'm looking at these guys right now. Great group of folks in there right now that like to participate and watch the show. You can do that, and all of our shows are replayed live on, well, not live, but they're replayed on YouTube. And I actually trim them, color correct them, make them look pretty, and put those out. Just go to YouTube, type in Tom and Dan Live, and you can subscribe to everything.
Yep. Most things are at Tom and Dan Live.
Mm-hmm. Almost everything. Let's jump into voicemails and emails. Big fan of the show, Jim from Lakeland. This is the first time I've ever received a voicemail of somebody who I don't think likes Jim. Yeah, here.
What's going on, everybody? I'm convinced that Jim from Lakeland is not actually Jim from Lakeland, but he is 100% Wallace Shawn from Toy Story, Princess Bride, and the Tony Danza classic, She's Out of Control. That is all. You're not fooling nobody.
And then
Wallace.
he has a little invert. Did you hear it?
Yeah. Yeah. Little tiny inward burp.
I'm convinced that all of our listeners have gastrointestinal issues like we do.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're all drinking Mountain Dew, carbonated drinks, soda, burp crazy.
Yeah. It's
Chicken
all
fries.
trash in the
Yeah.
inside. Yeah. And outside.
Were you starting to sing Chicken Fried by the...
No, I was saying chicken fries because that's what Norm had for lunch.
Chicken Fries.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about that damn song by the Zach Brown band, Chicken Fried. Remember that?
No,
Doesn't Norm work from home?
I believe so.
If I worked from home, I would be embarrassed to go to fast food restaurants and come home and eat.
Yeah.
I still get like that. If I have a day
Yeah.
off here and let's say Andrea has to work and I'm still off, right? Mm-hmm. There's something about it. It's psychology. I don't know what the psychology around it, but I feel like a trash person
Yeah.
if I drive up to McDonald's and get a hamburger and then drive home and eat it alone. I feel horrible.
Oh, I love it.
So I'll just find
Yeah.
something, I'll starve
come
myself.
on.
I would rather starve in that. Like I'll be like, I'm so hungry, but I can't be a trash person.
Yeah. You can't. You're a grown adult. Don't leave your house. Go to McDonald's.
And then come
buy
home
it,
and like
come
that's the
home, eat
only
it.
place
Yeah.
you go all day.
On a Wednesday.
Uber Eats or DoorDash.
No, don't.
Oh, that's even worse. Don't Uber Eats McDonald's.
Yeah.
I've
That.
done it once.
You know what? I'm proud
If
of
you're
you for doing
drunk,
it once.
okay.
Try everything
Hold on.
once.
Yeah.
Okay, because
Try everything
Oh yeah, I
once.
was drunk.
apparently a lot
That's
of
fair then.
Yeah.
a
It's
lot
my
of-
birthday.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
fine.
game on.
You're allowed to do it if you're drunk.
Okay.
One
You get a
because
pass if you're drunk.
Of course, I eat fast food drunk.
I mean, that's what you have to eat, right?
when-
Soak up all that alcohol.
Yeah, every once in a while. If
I don't think it works
let's-
like that, but that's what I tell myself.
Yeah, of
I don't
course.
think it soaks
No,
anything.
the science is not there,
Yeah.
but
No,
we will
but
say
I'll
that to
keep
make
saying it
ourselves feel
till I
better.
die.
Yes.
In my 20s, I used to do it all the damn time. You know, it was like
Oh, it was.
Best drunk food?
I like Taco
Taco
Bell.
Bell.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
it's like
I mean,
that's
if-
one of my
if
go-to
If
drunk.
I have my druthers, I want gringos. But, and man, this is a hot take. In the moment, that's going to take a little too long. In the moment, getting a custom-made taco by a man, by a real man that, like, he's back there and he's grilling it and doing the thing. You know what I mean? Like, normally I'm not driving. I need my wife to
fast,
drive me through
fast.
stuff. I'm like, just give me a Mexican, you know, and I do that.
I have now
I don't want to be in
added-
gringos drunk. I look like a fool.
You are allowed to Uber Eats or DoorDash or whatever McDonald's breakfast. All right, I've added that
I
because
disagree with that.
What?
Okay, my stipulation being because I've
Drunk
now
in the morning?
No, I've now encountered multiple people because I've made that proclamation
It's
before.
the worst
why,
thing you can eat, though, because it's instant diarrhea.
Why are you Uber Eats or like getting your fast food delivered? Ultimate laziness. And I found that multiple people have told me they've done it for breakfast.
Chigardi in our Twitch
so
chat
I have to
room.
allow that now, just because it's somehow popular.
An all-time low has been hit. Chigardi in our Twitch chat room says, and I'll quote, "We've been door dashing Wawa."
No, sir.
You should be.
No, okay. Yeah.
You should be
Come on.
arrested
Yeah,
and
yeah.
executed in the town square.
Hold on now.
That's bad.
What do
Yeah.
you order? I need to know the order.
That's a gas station, man.
I will say
that's
my,
a gas station.
My DoorDash account did get hacked, and someone did order $35
Yep.
worth of Wawa.
That's true. I was here when that happened.
in Philadelphia.
I saw that come
I
through.
have their phone number
Well-
and address. I'm gonna dox them.
Here's
Oh, did you try and call him?
We were gonna do it on the show. Actually,
Do it.
if you there's one thing on these new like there's a new feature on DoorDash or Uber Eats or whatever
I've never used it.
Where-
Oh man, I'm dumb old man.
where if you order something, it will pop up like, hey, do you want them to stop at Wawa or at 7-Eleven
Right,
on
yeah,
your
yeah.
way to pick up whatever else? And then I have found myself going like it'll pop up and I'm like, oh, 7-Eleven.
Oh,
and
look at
then
these one Jolly Rancher sucking candy.
and but you can't. I think you may have to go through a process. But I wanted to get White Claw on the way, but I couldn't find it as an
ABC
option.
delivery, bro.
Yeah, dude.
No, but this
Their
was
client.
just, do you want to get this on the way? So I was checking to see if I can get White Claw, but there may be some.
I have never used DoorDash or Uber Eats. Maybe DoorDash once, but I've certainly never used Uber Eats.
Yeah,
Because
it's weird.
Andrea puts her foot down. It has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
It has everything to do with my wife. She puts her foot down, and this is where I feel like at times she becomes overly organized or too logical
Yeah.
because she'll say, it's just faster for me to go get it. It's just easier for me to go get it.
Yeah, that's,
Yeah, it is gonna
Listen,
take a
if
while.
And
my-
most of the time, she's
I don't
right.
want. I don't want to be a lazy
Yeah,
POS.
here the problem is me and my husband are both
Yeah,
drunk,
yeah, yeah,
so
yeah. Well,
that's our only
Right, she
option.
Not
doesn't
even-
drink. You're
Yeah.
right.
Not even drunk when I don't want to leave the house. Like I've Uber Eats a Mike's sub from
Jersey Mike?
Jersey Mike's before,
Oh, man.
and it was like $18 or whatever.
Holy
Oh,
smokes.
my
Just because
Lord.
I'm too
Money bags over here.
I was too lazy. Well, I've gotten to a status in my life where like $5 or $6.
They call him $18 Mike Sub.
Yeah. It doesn't
His
move.
name.
It doesn't move the needle. Listen. I worked hard.
$18.
I've worked
Here's my
hard.
needle.
I've worked hard my whole
Really?
life. I'm almost 40 years old. I wore a clown suit for a long time. I got to the point where $5 or $6 will not
Yeah,
sway
it's
my
not
decision.
a good idea, but he's gonna do it.
If you think that's rich, that's rich is subjective.
No, it's
but,
not rich.
Not
It's
rich,
It's
just
waste of
you're-
money.
It
but
is a
it's-
waste of money, but
yeah.
wasting $5 or $6 doesn't move my
Everybody
needle
does it in
at this
some way or
point.
the other,
in my
depending
life.
on whatever they do.
I spent too much money on alcohol.
I do feel
Yeah.
guilty, and I feel like a POS.
I got an ABC delivery coming today.
Yeah.
I don't need any more alcohol. I have a whole cabinet full of whiskey.
But it is fun to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
ABC delivery. It is kind of fun.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. You know what I really like?
It's a little gift.
I like it when they put it in the back of my truck, like the touchless.
Oh, you do the pickup?
Sometimes,
Oh.
yeah. I'll pull up and then I just pop
No,
the
I
truck,
just
and then
sit
they
at my
just walk
house.
out and they set everything in my car, and I just shut it, and then I'm like, tuck, tuck. I just tap or I hand them like a tip and I drive away. It's
So,
awesome.
can we all agree that the best thing to come out of this pandemic, if we're looking at the bright side, is that now all delivery drivers, when it comes to food, just leave it at your door, and there is no more interaction with them.
I wish I could agree with you, but I don't get any delivery.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm telling you now,
Nothing benefits me from this pandemic.
It's they now have all adopted the leave it at your door.
Unless it's alcohol. Yeah.
Unless I'll
Yeah.
show your ID.
Why
but
can't they leave it? Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
Yes.
got to show your ID. But I'm saying now everybody just leaves at your door, and it's so much better.
Yeah.
And it makes me scream.
Unless you have a storm door, and then they put it right in front of the door, and you
That's
smash
it.
your drink into the
Oh,
ground.
the old storm
I do,
door.
yeah, I do that too. Yeah, I got the storm door, and every time I knock.
You got to leave it open.
Yeah, I have to open my garage and walk around
No.
because I'll knock. One time I knocked the top, and then it spilled sauces everywhere.
Oh,
And,
my God. My
Not
Jason's
the
mom
sauces.
sauce.
By the way,
Cue Magusa?
how?
When you spilled smack my ass and call me Sally sauce everywhere.
I guess no one really cares, but it's just like leave it just to the
No.
just to the right.
If
just,
I have drinks, I put one drink in front of the door, then a couple feet later, I put the other drink, then a couple feet later, I set a series of traps
Yeah.
for you. Almost like a Rube Goldberg of you getting out of your own home.
although
I'm the jigsaw food delivery.
you know what's weird is that pizza has almost regressed back to the original where they'll stand there and hand it to you. Where
I
especially
wonder if it's for the tip.
well now it's all digital tip.
So you tip on the app?
Yeah, you tip on the
Well,
app.
it's sealed.
I haven't ordered pizza in so long.
It's got the sticker. Like all pizzas now, if you get it from a chain, they have some sort of
Yeah,
like
but-
sticker on it, like to ensure that somebody didn't
Hasn't-
right before they
yeah.
delivered it start coughing Corona all over it.
But
Yeah.
but I
feel
think
like.
but I think like just from that's the way they always did it. It's now like some of them I've gone back to
Yeah.
standing and waiting. They
I
don't
get
leave
the
it there.
I get the dumb old man now, the sad old man.
Yeah. Which
Like
I
we-
don't care, but it's like
No, I do
just
care.
leave it and leave like everybody else does now.
Well, it's because it's flat, I feel like. And when you put it flat, it's almost like putting a doormat down. You almost need like a little table outside your house for pizzas, like a pizza table.
Do you have a Ring doorbell or anything where you can talk to them and tell them to just leave it there? That's what my husband does.
I mean, well, it's like that's
God,
for
he is
me,
an old man. My
Yeah.
God, he gets on his doorbell like, put the pizza down.
Yeah.
Put
I
the
just-
pizza
You
down.
filthy animal.
Yeah.
If I'm
Keep the
standing,
change.
I won't even look at open the window or whatever. If someone rings the doorbell, I'll just open the door. Like I'm.
I
not
open it
suspicious.
fast.
God.
I don't care who it is. You know.
I pull it open real fast. Yes.
Hello?
But
What do you need?
So
No way. I hide.
why?
I hide too.
So
I hide from everybody.
in all the like the other delivery services, you don't have to sign anything, right? And then
Well, that's
and-
been a confusion of mine for years. Remember, when it used to be you had to sign for everything. And then it got to a point where they're like, some places they're like, yeah, the transaction's under $25. You don't have to sign.
Right.
Well,
And I'm like, when did that happen?
Well, they always will make you sign. It's like every day at the smoothie place. When I buy my smoothie, it comes out like sign. I just push
oh
a
my
dot.
God.
Well, I just push a dot.
You
and
got to
then
sign
enter.
for a smoothie? That's ridiculous.
Well, my credit card.
Well,
it's a credit card
Dick.
transaction.
It's got his testosterone in it, so it's like kind of a drug
But
cocktail.
the pizza delivery service, it was like you pay through credit card or whatever online, and then you add the tip. Even like I'm saying, pre-pandemic, when it used to be like most people were just paying online anyway, they would always make you sign the receipt.
Yeah,
And then it all change, and all the other delivery service, they just leave at your door. There's no signing anything.
right.
Right.
So
Like I could call online.
what happened?
I could call online to like a Chinese restaurant, and I can get like $80 worth of food, and they'll just come and put it in front of my door.
Yeah.
And they don't sign nothing.
Yeah. So what? Then why is the pizza places? Because
I've
Let's
told
get
you
to the bottom of this.
This
Crystal
has been
ordered-
confusing
You
for
heard
years.
about this one?
I have been confused.
Hold on. Is this passive aggressive again? Like, your enthusiasm makes it seem like you're bullying me.
Your enthusiasm makes it seem as if you're bullying me.
Because you're like, oh, that's super interesting. It's like when I tell my wife when she starts telling me about
Oh, wow.
some meme or yeah. It seems
hilarious.
passive aggressive. I'm just picking up on it. So is it that the pizza companies have a system that it's hard
It's
to change?
antiquated. Change it. No, they can change it.
And it should be easy to change
Yeah.
because every other food delivery place is doing
Right.
it. So why the hell aren't you doing
What
it?
if I say no? What if they go and you can sign this one? And I go, I'm not signing that. I don't know what that is.
I think they need a signature. They need to come back.
No, but
with
what
a
if
signature.
I ask them that? They probably don't know either. What if I say, why am I signing this? And they're like, well, I don't know. It's the pizza rules.
Yeah. Well, I would be like, I'm just gonna sign it in the car. I'm just gonna write a line because
I'm not gonna
no one checks your signature. It's stupid. Like there's no and I've never actually signed my signature on anything that is stupid as like a small transaction.
Well, car dealers do it too. Like it's also like, well, when car dealers do it, it's not binding at all. It's just a pressure technique to get you to buy stuff. They'll be like, well, sign initial here and make sure we talked about this. I'll get you on the record here. Man, that's meaningless.
Well, also, it's even meaningless I would imagine very rarely, as maybe never, that they'll go back and verify if that is your actual signature on some document. Like, what scenario would that ever happen?
Nobody ever does that.
No, but even if like a big enough like a car or something. Like, I feel like you were in there. They have surveillance footage of you in there signing something. So even if, like, it's the old joke of I signed Donald Duck, so now I'm not, I have no responsibility for anything I signed because I signed a fake name.
Right,
It's
right.
like whatever you signed, that is the legal, even if you write an X, your legal marker was that at this point in time. And it doesn't matter if it's your name or not, right?
Right. That is what.
So according to lifehacker.com,
Yes. Where I get all my news.
for most online purchases, all you need is your credit card number and the CVV code. But pizza delivery is different. Your credit card details secure the order, but it is usually not processed until the face-to-face transaction takes place. Don't know why. It doesn't say why. Why just pizza?
Because they probably built some system before, but when that was the only thing being delivered.
It's Pizzagate.
Well, I'm saying, like,
It is.
We were forced into, like, Uber and DoorDash started becoming popular, but then it exploded when the pandemic, right?
Yeah, it was greatly aided by the.
But even back then, even before the pandemic, you didn't have to sign.
No, not for Chinese food. Like if I'd order
Not for
Chinese,
anything.
No, I'd do Chinese food delivery right here. The guy would walk down the street, he'd bring it over, and there'd be no signing. While he'd just hand me the food, and thank you, buddy.
Yeah, and then before the
He might read it. He might go, Chinese delivery, and then go like fried rice. Be yep. All right, thank you.
So let's remember, before the pandemic, when you ordered Uber Eats or food delivery, they would give it to you by hand.
Yeah.
And then the only thing that changed, because you would still pre-tip them and everything like that, so they weren't waiting for a tip or anything because it was all through the app. Even pre-pandemic.
Are they interacting with the app?
Well, yeah, because they are the ones, like, when you put your order in, it's just like a regular Uber or whatever. It goes out there, and then if you're accepting orders or if you're open and not currently on a delivery or whatever, then you have the option to take that order or not. So I guess, and then also you'll see what the tip is because that's all done even before someone even takes your order. So when you finish paying, you putting the tip in to the order before someone even accepts it. So you're pre-tipping before you even know the driver.
Right.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
so the driver just picks it up, and now that has caused in a couple times, and probably just because of crazy demand, where they don't give a damn, and like I've seen them drive around, like where are you going? Like they'll go the opposite way, and then like I know they'll deliver multiple orders and stuff, but it's taking me like one time an hour and 40 minutes to get an order because this guy was an idiot and like he getting lost, and then he was sitting in a parking lot. I was watching him for a long time. I'm like, what are you doing?
I know what you're doing.
And then he just dropped on my door and hauled ass. Now I know I could go and write some email to DoorDash, or I'm sure they'd give me some percentage off my next order or whatever.
Credit or something.
But it didn't. I was like, screw it. I ignored, whatever. Went on with my day, but I tipped that guy $5, and he was horrible. So I was like, but out of all the other times, it's like, a couple bad things, but for the most part, this seems to be working well, and it's got to be better for those people because they just go drop at the door and haul ass. But then I wonder how many times they drop it off at the wrong door.
A lot.
Or how, like, if that causes a problem because...
Yeah, well, after a while, I mean, that'll all get back to the restaurant, and... Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I think it would.
But it's all the third-party thing, so it's a different person most of the time.
Yeah,
and
they'll
so
give
it's
you
like,
a credit.
Yeah. And you get bad ratings.
Sometimes these restaurants, hate these type of services because it takes, especially if it's like, I don't want to say fancy, but let's say it's like a handcrafted versus like a, like getting. Even local chains, like getting DoorDash or something like that, I think is fine. But like there are some mom and pops that just don't like it because they don't think the quality of delivery is well represented, because they're too big.
It also they'll have to pay more because of the percentage or whatever. But you have to be on that service because you're turning down a ton of money if you're not. And especially now, you have to be in all services because that's how people have been
I'm with Chigardi on this too. Like I like pre-tipping as well. Like I like when I'm getting like food, I like to be able to like maybe cuz she's saying it like it could impact the driver's attitude even going I think it probably does.
It may because everything's pre-tipped. That used to work when it was the standard to post-tip. And I remember I made the joke about pre-tipping your guide if you're doing like an excursion or something like that because they'll give you a better experience. But now that everything is pre-tipped and that's how it's been for a long time,
I agree.
They're so used to it they don't even care anymore. So it's like the fact that someone tipped them a lot, I bet they barely even look at it. They just get the order, go drive it off. Most people are tipping. I don't like how they put 15%, 20%, 25%.
Yeah.
I'm like 25%. Who's tipping 25% on their food order for delivery?
A lot of people, especially right now during the pandemic, 'cause a lot of people have to do that because they lost their jobs.
I was doing it like
jobs. There's a million jobs.
When everyone was getting laid off last year.
Now it's changed though.
But so now you're reeling it back into 15%.
No, I don't even. I do $5
though. I was hitting the
25.
25%. Yeah, because it was pandemic time. And
what happened, Moneybags? $18 sub over here.
I'm
holding out on the driver.
There was an overwhelming...
Guess what? Jersey Mike's got the money. The driver doesn't.
There was an overwhelming thing like, hey, tip your delivery guy at the beginning of the pandemic.
That
is over now.
Norm says he's 25% all day.
25%?
I still always tip 20, and during the pandemic,
that's for service. A delivery is $5.
I do 20. I do just hit the. I'm just telling you what I do. I hit the 20%. I'm just telling you what I do.
I'm just telling you.
You can argue with me and yell at me, but I'm telling you what I do.
Now you know how I feel, Dave.
No. If I'm at a restaurant or if I get
at a restaurant's different. I tip 25%
or if we
at
get
restaurant.
a pizza, I don't do $5. I hit the 20% button. I'm telling you what I do. If we order tacos. If whatever, I'm 25. I hit the 25. I have been. I probably now lately I've been more 20 because
you pay too much.
I'm easing back into the lack of the mask and stuff. I got a vaccine now.
I mean, if you're just dropping it off at my door and picking it up, I feel like that $5 tip is fine.
If I order like an Every Plate or a Hello Fresh, they're technically delivering me food, but it's FedEx. Do I tip that?
No, I don't tip them. That's like getting
tipping a mailman.
That's like getting a uterine mesh in the mail from Amazon.
Okay.
I don't even know if they sell this on there. It just was the example that popped into my brain.
All right.
Yeah.
You got an email for me?
Sure.
This is good.
Gabriella Plants. Hey,
Yeah.
Tom, Dan, and Sam. I cannot say enough great things about Gabriella Plants. I recently made my first purchase with them and opted to pick my new plant babies up since their shop is so close to my house. To start, their prices are fantastic, not to mention the Tom and Dan discount on top of it. Previously, I have purchased all of my plants at Luca's and some trendy local plant shops, and the prices are nearly half of what I've previously paid. Their selection is also fantastic, and if you email them about a plant on your wish list, they will quickly reply with whether or not they anticipate having it in stock. That's cool to know.
That is really cool.
And this is all before even getting my plants. Once I got them, I was blown away. They were way bigger and more beautiful than I ever imagined for what I paid for, and they looked absolutely perfect. I could also tell that they were perfectly cared for. I bought another plant at a big box store because Gabriella doesn't anticipate having it in stock, and although this plant prefers to be dry, it was soaking wet and had water sloshing all over. Gabriella knows their plants and gives them expert care, ensuring the best.
Plant
Thank you
nerds,
for
yeah.
introducing Gabriella Plants to me, and I cannot wait to fill my house up with plants.
They are plant nerds, and they're the nerds you need to talk to. They're cool dudes.
Use promo code Tom and Dan at checkout, 15% off, or use our sponsor, spend $159 and get a free Gabriella plant mailed to you.
Yep.
Any of our sponsors, just fill out the form at tomanddan.com and you'll get a free plant. Like a $30 value, and the plant world, as far as like if you deep dive into it, because I follow some like a bunch of plant social media stuff, and there's like these plants that are variegated, which means like there's somehow had some genetic anomaly, and they're like half white, or their leaves are like basically they get a white stripe, or half of them turn white, or whatever.
Yeah.
It
like
becomes
Busdecker's hair.
Yeah. It becomes super rare, and then the value of the plant skyrockets to like people are paying $600 for a variegated monstera or whatever it is, some philodendron that's variegated. And I talked to Shane Malloy from Gabriella, and that's like he sells variegated plants, and people will pay an insane amount of money extra for that because of the rarity.
Absolutely.
Even though it's basically the plant has a form of, like, you could say cancer or whatever.
They do the same thing with dogs, man. Like, it has a particular look.
A pattern.
Well, no, I was going to say, it's dwarfism.
Oh, yeah,
and they do it a lot, and it's like, is it really hurting the dog's lifespan? Well, yeah, it kind of will, but it's really cool. And
look how smushy this dog's face is.
Right, I know.
We bred it with his sister for 10 years.
For Gabriella, tonight is the plant drop. And meaning tonight is when they do the email to let you know what they're getting. So if you're not on there, sign up right now, and then you'll get the cool email that a lot of our plant nerds get, and they go through and they detail what they got in, and when it's available, and it's really, really neat. And they do it every Wednesday night. So check that out.
Let's play a voicemail.
All right.
Hey guys, it's the Illuminator checking in again. Tom, I'm absolutely appalled that you have not addressed your floating trailer issue yet. I'm going to give you one more example of what I saw the guys do at the boatyard as a young man. Some of the old timers would get some PVC pipe, 3-inch or so, get a couple end caps, cut it like 5 feet long, fill it with concrete, and then tie it to the sides of the trailer. If you do that, make sure you use stainless steel winch straps though, because, water. Anyways, picture S, man. It's embarrassing.
Whoa.
You're embarrassing, Tom.
I thought this guy came in a little aggro for a guy giving advice.
One Sunday, maybe 8 months ago.
Let me fill your pipes with concrete, buddy.
I went to Home Depot. I bought a big 4-inch pipe, like PVC pipe, and I got concrete and got 2 caps, and I got stainless steel, basically bands that flatten one side that go over that 4-inch pipe, and it's made so that you can attach it to walls or whatever. And I was going to screw it in with some stainless steel wood screws to the bunks on my trailer to weigh the back down, because I was going to fix this problem. I put concrete in the pipe. I let it dry for a day. I got the PVC glue. I got the primer and the blue glue. I mixed them together. I put the caps on and let that dry for a day. And then the next day, I went to install these things, which should have been just as easy as putting the bands over the pipe and screwing them
just
to the
screwing
bunks.
them
You know,
down,
I'm like,
yeah.
and easy enough. And I realized that the end caps that I purchased were thicker than
Get a
the
thick
actual
end cap.
Oh no.
Like, you know how
I have a thick end cap.
yeah,
but,
yeah.
my
You know a
wife likes
mushroom
it.
cap, like you
Yeah,
put
yeah.
it, and you can't put a mushroom cap resting against the wall because the
No.
mushroom makes the shaft not go flush against the wall because
Correct.
the mushroom is wider, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I put these things on, and then I went to go screw on the braces, or whatever, the brackets,
yeah.
and
Did you
they
snap
didn't.
it off?
No, no,
Oh, you couldn't get it flush.
I couldn't get it flush because the
it was
end caps were bigger.
You gotta cut the end caps down, melt them down with a
There's no they
use a
there's-
torch and melt them flat.
Well, then I was like, well, I could just what I'll do is I'll screw them in and I'll just bend it or whatever. Then I imagine
Bend it like Beckham.
it falling off on I-4, going through some windshield, killing a family or whatever.
my
like,
God, yeah.
and then so
Right through Reverend McGillicuddy's eyeballs.
I screamed all this work for nothing, and because I wasn't.
Where are
paying
these pipes now? Did you throw them away?
No, they were sitting on the side of my house. I just
That
threw
looks
them.
good.
I threw them in anger, and then that's it.
Don't
And-
look back in anger.
And I contemplated doing it all over again. This took me 3 days, by the way.
What
Oh
the
my
hell?
God.
Well, because I had to let the concrete cure
Why didn't you
for a
ask
day.
anybody, or why didn't you look up the
Ask
dimensions
somebody.
of the end caps for the thing?
Well-
This guy said 3, and you said immediately you went bigger, which led me to believe you didn't do. Did you not do research on what size?
Well, it doesn't matter how big the actual pipe is. It's the fact that
The mushrooms.
the
caps.
The caps were bigger. Or
Can you get smaller caps?
Well, there's inside caps for PVC. I don't know that go inside that would basically.
It's like mounting these on a window. You can either
You
go
get a
inside
flush
or
it.
outside.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that
Or like a poster shipping container. Where
Correct.
it goes inside, yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like that. That way, I could press it up against the bunks, and then but I'd have to do it all over again, the concrete and all that stuff. So I screamed, "F it!" And that's what happened.
Is Seth also borrowing your trailer or no?
Oh, I forgot to warn him about that. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Oh boy.
No, I'm joking. He's got his own boat trailer. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was something I needed to know or something
no.
you're like, oh my God.
No,
You got
no.
an email?
Sure.
Let's keep moving.
It's fine.
let's
Somebody
see.
in the chat room, I don't even want to bring this up again, but somebody's asking why didn't you just strap the caps, since they're the wider part that could be strapped flush. Why not strap each cap flush and then let the thing in the middle just kind of hang?
First of
Would it
all,
work?
No.
Too saggy in the middle, or
Well, I brought the wrong strap. The straps were made for the 4-inch pipe. The caps are technically an extra inch or
So it's
whatever,
not gonna
5-inch.
fit.
So I'd have to get new straps. Plus, I do not want them falling off on the highway.
Right. You want them
and becoming
totally secure.
Yeah. So I figured a floating trailer was better than rigging something that would fall off in the middle of I-4.
I agree.
Yeah. So the floating trailer would just be a pain in the ass when I'm at the boat ramp. When
At least it's not dangerous.
when the concrete pipe starts.
What happened to you taking risks, buddy?
No.
Well, that risk seemed
Live
like
life on the edge.
No,
that
not
seemed,
with the concrete pipes.
Well, that seemed probable.
Manslaughter. Let's do it.
Yeah,
no,
yeah.
I vote no.
Worst album by best band.
What?
Hello, show. I was listening to my 2000s playlist on Spotify yesterday, and Saint Anger by Metallica popped up. It's not the worst song, but the album itself is universally considered their worst. Metallica is my favorite band, and I can cherry pick a few tracks from it that are decent, but I tend to agree that the album as a whole isn't great. This got me thinking about what the best band is with the worst album. Music is very subjective, so there won't be a one-size-fits-all answer. A few contenders based on my musical tastes include Chinese Democracy by Guns N' Roses, Frequency Unknown by Queensryche, Test for Echo by Rush, Falling into Infinity by Dream Theater. Let me know what terrible albums by great artists you all can think of.
This is more of a you guys question because I'm not a music money.
Into the Unknown by Bad Religion.
Their worst album?
It's terrible.
All right.
Yeah, it's and I'll read you. I looked it up, and it came out in 1983. It was very less punk rock than they normally did, and it was more into like progressive rock, almost like prog rock or very avant-garde. So it's kind of like it had a lot of electric organ and piano-driven stuff on it. It's garbage. So you can check that one out. It definitely doesn't fit anything that they've ever done before.
Did they have a good one before that?
Yes.
Okay.
Everything else is great. It's the only one that, like, when their box set came out, it's the only one that I really wanted, actually, because it's so weird and very different.
This is a hard question. Because it's also like a lot of bands will start out, you like them, and as they grow older, they start changing their sound. So then it's just like you just don't like the sound that they change to, but it's not necessarily a bad album.
Every once in a while, though, artists will do something completely different.
Where you're like, what the hell
and
is
then
this?
get a lot. Didn't like I don't know too much about Eminem, but didn't he come out with one album that was more inspirational about
Rehab
him?
or something?
Yeah. Then everybody
He
was
took a
like,
lot of heat.
yeah. So that's kind of what I'm sure. I don't know.
I'll tell you, musically, when the Red Hot Chili Peppers went more mainstream rock and roll, like your Californication, and away from the funkier like skate punk that I liked, I fell out of love with them. They were my favorite band. Chad Smith, Flea, John Frusciante, Anthony Keith. Like, when I saw these guys, I was like, oh man, this is the band. And everything that they Uplift Mofo Party Plan, Mother's Milk, and then you had the record that Under the Bridge was called Funky Monks. I think that's what that's called.
Yeah.
And or Blood Sugar Sex Magic, actually. I think that's what it's called. But I was like, these guys are great. And then they flipped, and it was more like, oh, these guys are just doing straight ahead rock. These are the Rolling Stones. I'm like, not as cool. It didn't resonate with me as much.
Do you think nowadays it's easier for entertainers, especially musicians, to leak out and test and get like a kind of a feedback from their audience more than it was? Like, obviously through social media and the internet, you can kind of get an idea whether your audience is going to like a certain song or like work. Like, I don't know if any artists do this nowadays, but like this dawned on me when Swervy Jones was like doing his Twitch channel about him creating our cartoons. And then having people watch him create it.
Yeah, like a sneak peek.
And then like how Trivium is doing stuff on Twitch.
Artists do that a lot, though. They'll leak their own songs.
And like working on their songs, right?
Just to see.
Even like demo versions,
And I mean, what do you think Kanye was doing for the last 3 weeks?
Yeah.
He's just testing stuff and going back into the lab and
I don't know what he's doing.
chopping things up. I'm digging the album. It's weird as all hell, but yeah, there's some moments on it that I'm like, that's cool.
But it's a good way to get feedback from your audience instantly without, there used to be a time where you'd have to hire some company to sit people in a room.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to expose them to something and then have them say whether they liked it or not. Now, social media, you could, if a bunch of your listeners or fans, it's like, oh, that beat is awesome, whatever, like, you got something, right?
Yeah. No, and again, my Red Hot Chili Peppers analogy in the chat room was saying, well, I like Californication, or those are good songs. Yeah, they are good songs. I'm not saying I don't like them.
Just away from the original.
Yeah, it was just, it didn't sound like that. Like, I really liked it when they were like sort of heavy, funky guitars with Flea going crazy on the bass, and Anthony Kiedis doing like his standard like rapping. Like, I don't know. Like, it hit right with me at the time, and I fell in love with that sort of style of funky music. And then when they matured, it just didn't hit the same with me.
Metallica, I was never, like, their music was always good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I was always a fan of, like, I would never be like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah, I love the Black Album, which I guess, if you were growing up listening to those people, you would have probably said that was their sellout album.
I was
right?
never,
I loved it.
I was never into them at all, and they always seem to sound the same to me. Like, I'm not into
I'm with you.
Like, it just...
No, I'm not a Metallica
I'm not
fan.
a huge fan, but I like that Black Album a lot, and there's still songs. I hear Sad But True, man, and I'm putting the sunroof open.
And there's also always been a little cheesiness to them.
Whoa!
Yeah, where they were like rock dads.
Give me fuel, give me fire, give me that.
Yeah. I don't know if that's, probably like Metallica fans that are like, oh no, you're crazy. But it always seemed like they were more cheesy dads than they were like really.
Well, that's Lars.
Hard
I think
rock.
Lars drug that band
ruined
down.
it, yeah.
I think if you hide him away and you never heard him, never had him open his mouth, no Napster, they'd be way cooler. He drags he drags them down. Tennis nerd.
Yeah, it may have been that whole Napster thing that we all
it pulled him down.
It put a bad taste in everybody's mouth.
It did. I got sued by him.
Yeah,
I have the letter somewhere, or my mom. Oh man, it probably got sold in the estate sale, but I had it for the longest time. Got sent it to my mom's house
because of the Napster, right? What was it?
Yeah, it was the Napster thing. It was like Lars and Dr. Dre was mad, and I got some letter saying that I had illegally downloaded music and I was in a lawsuit.
I can't believe Napster's still around.
Yeah, they rebranded and became something else.
Was it well, you were just named, and how did that work? Like, did you have to do anything?
What do you mean, Napster?
No, I'm saying with your letter.
No,
you
you don't have to do anything.
So what was it? Just saying don't do it?
It was more like a scare tactic
to get people to stop.
Correct.
I liked how they thought that. Like,
We've had 2 of those. We had one here where
Yeah.
somebody was downloading something they shouldn't have.
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
got a letter from the record company and I had to pay. I had to go to some website and they're like, "What'd you buy?" And I'm like, "This." They're like, "Yep, that looks right. Here's your IP address. You owe us $25." I'm like, "Here you are."
$25.
Yeah, well, it's the price of the album, right?
I like how Lars and like a bunch
our
of people in that industry thought to themselves that they could stop the internet.
Well, the chat room's correct. He was right.
Yeah.
Oh, they're
It
stealing,
wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah, he was not wrong. He was right, and it's still something that impacts us today. So it would be
Yeah.
incorrect of me. I'm calling him nerdy. For the record, I'm not calling him not smart or you didn't do what was right.
That's
or,
his
that's his
livelihood,
brand.
yeah.
You got to protect your brand. I get it. I'm just saying he's nerdy and he comes off weird, and that's
Well,
not cool.
also, it's like trying to standing at a riot at the old Woodstock '99 when people are burning everything. It's like getting on the stage and be like, "Stop! Stop!"
Right, right.
Like, that's not. Don't even yell that. You look like an idiot. Like that's the equivalent of Lars being like, "Don't! I'm gonna come after you."
But it's also like you're in Metallica. You don't need the money. But I get what he was doing, and also
the
for
principle.
smaller artists,
Yeah,
sure.
no, I
yeah.
totally get what he's doing. Yeah.
He just should.
But once we got that music for free, we didn't want to pay for it anymore.
I mean, if
especially
somebody-
when you're
It's like
a
porno.
broke
That's what happened
teen.
to
You're
porno.
and you know what it's like to be broke. You also know what it's
Yeah.
like to be a musician, and there is a conflicted area in there
absolutely.
that I would have where I'd be like,
Even artists now are like, go ahead and stream it for free. I just want you to hear my music.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
wasn't-
Or pivot
It really
in.
depends.
I wasn't
yeah.
happy that I got that letter. I wasn't happy when I had to pay that rent. It's embarrassing to do that. You know, you don't want to steal. Stealing is bad, guys. It is.
Yeah.
Stealing is bad. But
Yeah.
Unless it's from the company.
yeah, man, I'm trying to remember back then. Share Bear was another one.
Yeah. Or Bear Share.
Or Bear Share, yeah.
LimeWire.
LimeWire.
Their short-sightedness was thinking that if they shut down Napster, that this would go away. Not thinking
No.
like, of course,
Yeah.
a million other things are going to come, and then internet is only getting bigger, and more people are connected to it. So this is never going to go away. The
'Cause
door.
I don't think they knew that was going to happen.
You
Kazaa.
can't.
Yeah, Kazaa is what I used to
Because
love.
that's where I got my porno.
Loaded up my Zune.
It's like-
Yeah, man. Zunes were the better of the players.
I know.
Don't get me started. We'll have to call Ross in here about that.
It just to me is
Bring
like
the Zune back.
you should have sat back and been like, you know what, I could make a big uproar and spend a lot of effort trying to stop this, or I could just be like, nothing I'm gonna do is gonna stop it.
Well,
It's inevitable.
Well, what you should do is probably lean in and try to make it easier and a way for you to cash in, right? So if it is streaming, like you're hating it, they're stealing the music, well, then you had plenty of time and tons of money and resources to set up your own. Metallica will get you every
Yeah,
Metallica
yeah.
album known to man, and we will be the streaming kings of streaming.
Yeah.
And we will make it so easy for you to pay us and give you lossless quality audio, behind the scenes, demos never been, like, that's what you
Yeah.
do. You don't dig your heels in and go, I can't, especially when it's this huge, right?
Yeah.
You're supposed to get in front of the parade.
Yeah.
He's kind of a D-head anyways, even beyond
That's
Napster
the vibe.
stuff.
I don't
Yeah.
know him, but that's the vibe. And yes, do I think that plays into them being the original question to being not cool like dad rock? Yeah, I do think that plays into it.
When there's nude pictures,
Because Alice Cooper comes off like a cool dude, and he's older, and he comes off cool,
if
like a nice guy.
if you know your sex tape is going to be on the internet, try to make some money off of it.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
because
well, not mine. Nobody wants to see that.
because screaming, "Don't look at my sex tape," is not going to do anything to anybody. It's like that the whole thing. It's like, all right, this is inevitable. How can we make money off of it?
Right.
And they should have gone that route instead of scream at everybody, "Stop doing this," because it was stupid for even to even think you could try.
Yeah.
There's no way.
You can't stop it.
Can't stop, won't stop.
Yeah. Oh, damn it. We're done.
All right.
I guess
got
we
it.
are stopping.
Yeah, I guess we are stopping. This is the end. This is the end. Oh, that's another band I really loved. The Doors. I'm going to start revisiting The
I
Doors.
wonder why they stopped.
I don't know.
What
Probably
is
still
heroin?
around.
What is it? OD? The
Didn't he?
Old
Was,
Jim Morrison?
Was that suicide? Alcohol?
I have no idea.
was he the one that choked on his vomit, or was that Hendrix?
That was
Or both?
Hendrix. Right?
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix. I always get Jimi Hendrix, Mama Cass, what's the lady?
Heart attack brought on by drugs.
Janis
Morrison.
Joplin and Jim Morrison. Like, I don't know what
They're all
like,
the 27 Club, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
You don't hear heart attack brought on by drugs as much. They just call it OD now. Like no matter what,
they just go
like
OD.
yeah,
You're
it's
right,
OD.
you're
Like
right.
it's like
They don't. They used to say cardiac arrest from drug overdose. Yeah.
It sounds better that way because at least you're like, oh, okay, it's not an OD, but it was.
Yeah, never say OD. Just like when I go, don't say OD. Just say heart attack.
They'll be like, he stopped breathing. And they're like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
he
very
chose to do it.
unfortunate.
He's a tough ass. He chose to stop.
You know, bye-bye.